I usually don't post about brand new watches. There are plenty of websites and channels that cover that kind of stuff. But since this new Turquoise Monta Oceanking is limited to only 100 pieces, I figured I'd let you all know today, the day it becomes available, because I care, and also because I don't want to hear any complaints about why didn't you tell us sooner. Here, this is sooner. The dial is what's new here. Everything else, including the price, is the same with the regular production Monta Oceanking. I have a full video on the black Monta Oceanking, what some people refer to as the 3rd generation version. You can check out that video if you missed out on this limited edition turquoise watch, or if you're afraid of bright colors on watches. Are you afraid of bright colors? I'm not. In fact, I love bright colors on watches, but it's not really because I'm brave, but it kind of comes from this place of privilege. See, because I have a bunch of watches, including some boring black dial watches, because I have a few simple and stylistically versatile watches, I'm really interested in colorful watches because I still kind of have that safe place to go to. If you're only gonna own one watch, then yeah, maybe it should be just black or white or simple. But if you have a collection of watches, and I'll bet you do, you weirdo, then get something fun on your wrist once in a while. Something like this Turquoise Monta Oceanking. Of the current Oceanking line, this is definitely my favorite, and granted, the competition isn't large. There's a black one, and there's a blue one, both regular production, and they're cool, but this is special. Like the other Oceanking watches, this is 40.5 millimeters in diameter, 12 millimeters thick, 48 millimeters long, and has 20 millimeter lugs. It has a sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel insert, and 300 meters of water resistance. Inside is the Monta Caliber M22, which is a modified Sellita SW300-1 with 56 hours of power reserve. $2,550 for this turquoise Oceanking. That's also the price for each of the regular production Oceanking watches, and honestly that's refreshing. There's no markup for the limited edition watch. 40.5 millimeters on my 7-inch wrist, just great. It's a great size, and that's not just because of the diameter, but also because of the 12 millimeter thickness. For a 300 meter dive watch, 12 millimeters is kind of slimmer than most dive watches with 300 meters of water resistance. It seems like comfort has always been a high priority for Monta. Sometimes I feel like it's not a priority for bigger brands. A few things about this bracelet make this wear well. First, the bracelet is finished in a way that avoids any sharp edges. It feels really good against the skin. My humor and wit is sharp enough to cause harm. I don't need my watches to be sharp too. The bracelet is also fully articulated. The links can kind of fold onto the other links. I'm not entirely sure this makes it more comfortable, but it seems like it would, and placebos are real and they work even if you know that it's a placebo. And then there's the adjustment system in the clasp. This works similar to the Rolex Glide Lock system, and it's pretty simple. It has 6 different positions. Pop it out, slide it, pop it in, and there's no way to make an inappropriate joke about that. It's a pretty good system for $2,500. It could be smoother, it could be a little more refined, but it works well. I also tried this on a black rubber strap from Everest Bands, and it's great, both how it feels and how it looks. The strap that fits this generation Oceanking is the same strap that fits the 116610 Rolex Submariners, which is not the latest generation of subs. That's important to know, and it's important so that you don't complain to me about it. The Monta M22 inside this watch is a Sellita SW300-1, but one with a little extra. The main improvement is the additional power reserve. Some Sellita SW300-1s, maybe most of them, have a 42-hour power reserve, but this one in this watch has an upgraded barrel which gives it 56 hours of power reserve. And even though this watch has a solid case back, I'm guessing that the rotor weight is branded for Monta, like the one in this Monta Noble. Now stylistically, I categorize the Monta Oceanking in the same way that I categorize the Rolex Submariner, the Omega Seamaster, the Oris Aquis, lots of luxury dive watches. They're all totally capable dive watches with lots of water resistance and timing bezels, and they look kind of fancy. They've got polished bits and attention to lots of little details, good looking and capable, just like my YouTube subscribers. I especially like the hands on this watch. These are called sword hands and they're legible, and I think they look great. I know it's basically blasphemous to criticize Rolex watches, especially designs that have been part of the brand for a long time, but I really think the Rolex Mercedes hour hand is kinda weak and kinda ugly. But something like this is much more elegant and better matches the style of a fancy diver, and it's also just easier to read. The date at 6 o'clock is also better looking than most watches with dates at 3 o'clock. Guys, we'll talk a big game about symmetry and design design, and then they'll buy a watch with a date at 3 o'clock and a giant magnifier glued on the crystal. Me, I do that. I'm that guy. Now, as for competition, if I keep the scope to dive watches with bracelets that cost less than $3,000, there are some good options. For just under $3,000, there's the Zin U50. It doesn't have the same refined style as the Oceanking, but it does have 200 meters more water resistance, which I know you absolutely need for your lifestyle. No turquoise dial though. The Oris Aquis date has a ton of colorful options, and it does have that refined, luxurious sports watch style. $2,700 for the Sellita SW200 version, 43.5 millimeters, which actually wears like a 41 millimeter watch. Also with the Sellita SW200-1, not a 300-1, are a bunch of Christopher Ward dive watches like this C60 Trident, and for around $1,100 on a bracelet. And then there's a ton more from Longines and Doxa and plenty. And there are pros and cons to each of these watches compared to the Oceanking. And you could spend hours over analyzing those options, but let me help you. If you like how this looks, you'll be happy with this Oceanking. I could have just said that at the beginning of the video, but here you are with a few minutes of your life that you'll never get back because of me and watches.